Hello, you spankingly beautiful people. How are you? Today I'm talking about the game of Bash the Gophers. It's a metaphor. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So I don't know how you feel, but I feel at the moment that we are in a time of white noise. We are in a period where nothing major is happening, so it seems. And when I talk about major, compared to what happened 3 years ago or whatever, nothing major is happening. And yet, there are so many things happening. The emissary said coming into this year that this was going to be the year of great revelations, the year of revelations. Okay, and it is. I mean, it's just non-stop. The problem is, and I think I've had this metaphor before, but the emissary showed me the game in the fairground where you've got the little gophers that come out of the hole and you've got to hit them with a hammer. And the problem is they're up for a split second and then they're gone. And so you never quite catch them. Sometimes you catch the odd one. This is where we are at the moment. I don't know how you feel, but as I scroll through the feeds of some of the stuff, and by the way, I'm having a feed amnesty at the moment because there's a lot of miserable stuff going around. But what I've noticed is that these revelations are happening that would stop the world 10 years ago. They would have stopped the world. Every newspaper, every news article, every news channel would be talking about it. Are they? Fuck. They're just ignoring it. Or it gets mentioned once, and then we're not now, but before I would build my hopes up. I go, oh my God, it's coming out. And then, of course, it would go back in again. It would come out of the closet, and it would go back in again. And that's where we are at the moment. This constant flood. We're being flooded. Really, we've got these 5 senses, and our 5 senses are being overwhelmed with stuff. It's impossible to keep up with what's happening. I mean, just now, they're talking about, well, yes, yes, aliens do exist. Yeah. And that's it's massive. It's massive. But at the same time, it's kind of like, oh God, yeah, and what else? And I think we're so overwhelmed. And this is certainly how I feel. And I just think that other people are feeling the same, like this, overwhelmed with too much information. We're in the TMI moment of this journey. Like, oh, for God's sake. Add to that, I mean, this is the conversation I had with the emissaries. The emissaries also said, add to that we are still suffering. I don't want to use dramatic language. All right, we're still having to put up with the false light experts. Those that the emissaries were saying, those that are coming to give us false light, false hope. The ones that are telling us that a savior is coming, that a savior is going to save us. Yeah. As all good saviors do. That's redundant, by the way. A savior is coming to save us, clearly. However, I think we are getting wise to that. This is what I see. Just recently, for example, I saw some random guy talking to a big crowd of people saying, I've got the intel that Mr. T is going to be taking back the White House and he's going to be back into the presidency for the 26th of July. And this was before the 26th of July. Now, what's the date today? Shit. It didn't happen. How many times has that happened to us? How many times has somebody said, it's not this week, it's next week, it's this date, it's that date, this is when it's going to happen? We had at least 2 years of that, or more. I mean, right at the beginning of the planned stroke-demic. I remember David Wilcock talking about the 10 days of darkness and the what is it? The UBS? What's it called? No, this this thing that was going to come on everybody's televisions and run for 3 days, constantly just running the same documentary movie thing. And it was imminent. And so we've had this like, oh my God, non-stop people just making promises. I remember watching Charlie Ward. I mean, I admire Charlie Ward. I like him. However, he's full of shit sometimes. And as all of us are. And he was doing a meetup, and he got on the stage and he said, "I'm just going to tell you now that the quantum financial system is starting today," right? And I don't think it has. Or if it has, it certainly hasn't come to my attention, and I don't really see anything that would indicate that. And so it's like, I don't know, all this false light, this fake promise that we've got. But what I see in the comments of these people who make these fake promises is very much that this, yeah, well, that's not going to happen. Yeah, well, we'll see. And I think, I don't want to say that people have become jaded, because I don't think we've become jaded, but we're certainly starting to understand how to differentiate between what really is going to happen and what we're being promised is going to happen by these people who, and I think for all intents and purposes, they are good people. I don't think that they've been doing this to try and fool us. Maybe they're given information from people who want to fool us, but I think that they've been used as a voice for these other people. And they do it with the best of intentions. That's what I believe. But they've been used. I know all of us have been used, and we've been given information that wasn't true, etc., etc. But I think we're getting wise to that now. And I think we understand, certainly, I do, that the change that's coming, and changes are coming, we're in it now, comes from us. It comes from us and what we choose to do and what we choose to accept and what we choose to reject. And that's all. And it's always been in our hands. We just didn't know. And, I think we lost maybe a year or maybe a bit more waiting for somebody else to come and do what we should have been doing in the first place. And I think maybe if I had, at the beginning of that madness, if I had not been waiting for the white hats to come and fix all of this after they'd cleaned the tunnels out, then I probably would have taken a bit more positive action myself. It was later on that I started to. I got a doctor's note so I wouldn't wear a mask, and I joined a group so I could carry a card saying I wasn't going to have that. I did that later. But I think at the beginning, if I hadn't been waiting for my saviour to come, I would have probably got on with that. And I think that's where we are. We have to just start getting on with stuff. We don't have to be waiting for anybody. So what we need to do is fill ourselves up with hope, our own hope, for us, from us. Because we need to be filled with hope. We need to be hopeful. Yeah? The problem is when we believe what other people tell us is going to happen, and when it doesn't happen, we become hopeless. Right? And hopeless is not a great place. We want to be hopeful. And how we do that is by working on ourselves. And I know I keep repeating this, but that's what we have to do. We have to get ourselves into such a place that nothing can touch us. We have to get ourselves into such a strength that nothing can touch us. It's the difference between being on the upward spiral, yeah, or being on the downward spiral. We don't want to be on the downward spiral anymore. Upward spiral. I'm doing well, I'm feeling good, and nothing can touch me, and so I continue to do well, and I feel good, and nothing can touch me. Yeah. That's where we've got to be. We are only human, right? We're flesh and blood. We're not perfect. We have our down days, we have our up days, but even though life does this, as it should do, yeah, what we have to do is move that fluctuation high. So instead of saying, I'm all right today. Oh, I'm shit today. I'm all right. I'm shit. I'm all right. We shift it up. That's all that we're doing, so that we say, I'm great today. I'm fantastic today. I'm great today. I'm fantastic. So we just have the same ups and downs, these biorhythms, but they're shifted up. That's where we have to be. Okay? So get shifting. And I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later.